Hey guys, this is Josh. I'm back again with another video. Today I'm talking about LOBA on how to use her effectively through a preview video. Tomorrow when I get my hands on her, I'll have a more in-depth guide, but this should help you guys have an advantage for tomorrow when you do pick her up. If you guys are a new viewer, consider subscribing. I do make guides based on Apex and other games. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for the support. It really means a lot. And if you're a returning viewer, come on, show some love. At least click on that like button. Yeah. Click on it, please. But without further ado, let's get to this video and let's talk about LOBA and let's get it. I'm pretty sure you guys already seen this video, but I'm gonna take it a notch higher and give you guys some tips for tomorrow so you guys can actually have an advantage when using her when I'm discussing about her tactical abilities. Overall, she seems pretty awesome. We got it pretty spot on our previous videos on what we thought her abilities were going to be. I'm more interested in learning more about the ultimate, on how it works, and her passive, the range of distance of how far it can go out in terms of scanning. But with her first tactical ability is obviously her tactical. Its ability to teleport from one end to another. The cool thing about this video is that it shows you how she actually slings the bracelet, which you'll see a white meter. If you guys have played soccer games or NFL games, you guys know what I mean. Like, it shows you the distance of where the ball would travel. But the other plus side about it is that it gives you the other end of what you don't see and how it lands. So if you guys look at this orangey black Halloweenish looking line, it actually illustrates the motion of the bracelet and how it lands. Now you're going to ask, why do I care about this? I'm gonna tell you why. So you guys saw, obviously at the beginning of the video, it was like a white line that shows you how it gets thrown and obviously the distance. But when there's an object in front of it, like this guy here, when there's like a room or a building or whatever it may be, an object, it blocks your sight. So you can't see where it actually travels. That's where this guy comes into play. So what this actually depicts is how it actually lands or where it goes. So I know, for an example, if I throw the teleport, it doesn't mean I teleport initially because I have to press that button to activate it. What it's telling me is that it obviously went over the building. You know, we're aware of that, but it landed on the backside, either on a platform, on an object, or even on the ground. But at least I know, okay, it went over, it made it over the building. And for an example, I'm fighting some enemies right here. You know, we're fighting, you know, bam, bam, boom, bang, bang. But I start seeing that I'm about to die, then I actually click, you know, the tactical to teleport here on the other side of the building. So it's useful. I think when you guys actually play her, you guys will see what I mean, but that's what it's showing you. The white part is showing you what you can see. This orangey black shows you how it's actually thrown, obviously, but where it lands, so you guys have an idea of where it's at on the map, which is pretty cool. The other thing I like to point out too is that this tactical, yes, you can use as a way to get on top of here, or even on top of this other building up here. You know, that's the obvious reasons, right? That's pretty cool, like pathy. But the other thing too you want to think about too is playing it smarter. Let's say I throw the tactical inside automatically. I walk out and I stop here, right where my arrow's at, and I see two enemies. We're fighting. I take this guy out. I'm gonna scribble him out. I take him out, but then this one, you know, just shoots me with a PK. I'm like, oh damn, I'm down. I click on my tactical. I recycle back into the room, which is pretty awesome because this enemy here, the one that actually shot me with the PK, won't know actually where I went unless it has a ghost effect like a wraith. Then it might give it away. But even then, if you take it a step further, let's say I'm caustic and my teammate's a LOBA. I'll place some traps by this door, right? I'll place one right here. I'll even place one right there by her bracelet so no one messes with her when she comes back. Let's go back to that example. The LOBA's fighting him. Shoots her with a PK. She's like, oh man, I gotta go back in. Goes back into the room because obviously we placed the bracelet there initially. This enemy knows that I went in here. Well, what's gonna happen? Not just LOBA's there, but the traps of caustic. So this is where that combo effect is going to come into play and how you could creatively use your teammates as well. It's not just LOBA being OP and being like, oh my god, she's like the best legend. She looks pretty good on paper, but I'm looking at ways of how to attack her too, because you know, I think it might give it away in terms of her where she's going, her motion. I think so. We won't know yet till tomorrow, but you have to think in terms of not just LOBA, but with your teammates on how to protect her as well, because not any legend is OP. There's some deficiencies. There's some areas where you can actually catapult yourself and win the match. So that's just one scenario, but I'm really interested in seeing how many of these bracelets does she have. Does she have one? Does she have two? That's pretty awesome. She has three. That's like totally insane. But we will learn more. Obviously, if she has more than one, then her cooldown will be higher. If it's only one, then her cooldown will be shorter in terms of like coming back, you know, the duration of time for it to reactivate. But at least you guys have an idea. So obviously she presses it. One thing I'm going to show you guys is obviously she lands on top. But if you notice this, she has a buffer of how long she, you know, gets the bracelet back. So I feel like this is going to be probably a con. Yeah, you guys look at it like, man, that's pretty fast though. It is fast, but if this Pathy was maybe turned around, had the gun pointed, you can knock her out quick because she's putting her bracelet. That's easily, man, a full clip if you do it right on the head. So I wonder if there's a buffer, you know, illusion, protection, or it's like if you get seen, then you're pretty much scrambled. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I wonder how that's gonna work. Also, this part here is pretty cool. As you know, you're looking at the action down here. You could flank that Gibby down there. Well, she throws it in continuation, which makes me think it's gonna be two. Has a cool effect. Gets thrown. Obviously, Gibby's distracted. Otherwise, I would think like, how could you not see that bracelet fall? Puts the bracelet on. Obviously, buffer time. It's not you teleport action. There's some downtime. Pull out the weapon. Action. The passive is pretty awesome. Passive is pretty awesome because it's pretty much like Bloodhound, but I wonder how far of a distance it goes out. You guys will see in the ultimate that I do find the line. I think it's probably like Bloodhound scan, but 50% or maybe 25%. It cannot be the distance of Bloodhound. Bloodhound, it's a tactical, whereas LOBA, it's a passive. And having a passive ability that scans as far out like Bloodhound, that's overkill for me. I think that's overkill, honestly. But if you see in this video, you're going to see enemies and the items. And what's really insane is that LOBA can't see the enemies. She can only see the items that are on the floor. So keep that in mind. It's not the enemies. You can only see items. And what is one con about this? So let's say tomorrow you're playing a game and you guys start playing LOBA, or you play against LOBA and you're like, man, how do I take her out? She's so OP. Well, let's say for an example, this room is here and your squad is already shielded up with, let's say, purple, or let's say they're blue and there's a purple. Well, make it too good to be true. You can actually bait her. If there's a room and let's say there's a couple of items, you can technically play it like this. You guys could be like in an up room or somewhere hiding. There could be let's say the purple shield only. You can bait LOBA because LOBA is going to look for the good loot. And, you know, no one really cares about the white shields, blue shields. Initially, they do in the first couple of minutes, but afterwards, it's like gold or purple, right? Well, if I set the trap, I can actually take her out, especially if I'm a caustic. Easy kill. So just know that even though LOBA has the ability to see through walls, that could also be a con because you're going to be pushing rooms that you're just thinking like, hey, no one's in here. In reality, there is because you can't really see through unless you have a Bloodhound. Then you win. So you got to think about your combinations and how you do this new meta. But I just want to keep you guys aware that there's going to be ways to take out LOBA for sure. And I'll be able to point that out when I play as her and I play against her. So don't think like, hey, she's an overkill, OP. I think she will also have some cons and probably be similar to Revenant when people are like, oh my God, he's so awesome. He's OP, oh no, he sucks. I'm going to go back to the regular legends, right? So that's probably where I think LOBA might go into play, especially if you're not very dynamic of a player to play other characters. So just keep that in mind. So now you're in the room. Obviously, you see the loot. You can see the loot even behind the walls, which is pretty awesome. Now, this is pretty cool here. This is the ultimate. So the ultimate has the ability to obviously grab loot. As you can see here, her passive is still working. So that's going to jump into her ultimate as well, which I hope it does. I see weapons in the video, but I think armor and all that other good stuff is going to show up, because if you see in the trailer, it shows that too. But the other thing was the distance. And now we see the distance. If you guys can see, there's like a shaded line. It's just like Revenant's. If you guys see it right here. So I think her distance will be like Revenant's distance, which is not like Bloodhound. Bloodhound's distance of scanning is way far out. I think her distance will be a good chunk, but not OP where it's like, oh my god, how much map does she cover? Not a ton. It's a good doable space, but you kind of see the markers, which is something that I think no one has caught in their videos. But yeah, so you see it. You're seeing the line. Obviously, it gets dark. And if I go back, yeah, you're seeing the lines. So just keep that in mind. There will be a barrier of how far this ultimate can grab loot nearby. So let me clear this out and keep this going. Again, this is pretty cool. Obviously, the black market. Each legend could get 2 items from this. And right off the bat, we see 2 new items. We see the gold R99 and the gold Spitfire. I love the Spitfire. R99, I'm okay with. But the other cool thing is that the other weapons are pretty much in play. So if I'm someone that loves the flatline, or let's say the triple take, and I have all the add-ons, then I might have an issue with trying to find that weapon. Well, if my teammate or myself have a LOBA and we have the ultimate, then I can grab that weapon easily. So the looting will become less intense and much more beneficial when you have LOBA on your squad. So keep that in mind. And then each legend has 2 slots to choose from. Obviously, Gibby got the Spitfire, but that's pretty cool that they're doing this. I like this feature. And again, guys, you know, this gets to the tail end of the video, but overall, LOBA looks like someone who is very dynamic, very creative, just like Revenant, and now the other legends too. But there's something about it that I feel, you know, she can win-win having her on your team, but you can also trick her if you're going against her. You know, I always want to make sure I point out that there's good side and the bad side of a legend with any character. It's just how do you guys play the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to pick it up, play the new season, talk about the new map, give you guys some tips there. Also talk about LOBA, create a guide on how to win, also how to play. And yeah, I'll leave it here, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. And like always, thank you. And until the next one, later, guys.